right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, you may have heard about the IRS hiring thousands of agents. Is it to audit the middle class? We verify.
These aren't your typical dog days of summer. The one day this week, we really get a taste of autumn.
But first tonight, a baby overdoses.
We are seeing a huge trend with fentanyl, and those cases are increasing.
Who police say is responsible for the fentanyl that left the 11-month-old fighting for their life. Red, Mike Bush has the night off. Tonight, 2 adults are facing child endangerment charges. Our Pepper Baker is live in Clayton tonight as police continue to search for one of them. Pepper.
And that's right, St. Louis County prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell's office is charging a 21-year-old woman and a 22-year-old man with a Class B felony for endangering the welfare of a child. Now, the woman is in custody, but police are still looking for the man responsible.
An 11-month-old girl in North County is the latest known juvenile victim suffering a fentanyl overdose.
We hear these things happening more than we should.
Amanda Hackman, the lead forensic service coordinator at the Child Advocacy Center, interviews children who witnessed drug abuse.
Within the last year, we've seen quite a few either overdoses or deaths, that being an infant. We're seeing youth, adolescents, teenagers who are using fentanyl.
County police responded to the 911 call last Thursday in the Glasgow Village neighborhood. Charges followed Friday. 21-year-old Destiny McConnell and 22-year-old Jerome Jones face a Class B felony for endangering the welfare of a child.
Typically, that's not the first time that the parents or the child has experienced that type of situation with drug abuse.
The charging documents released by St. Louis prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell's office says the responding county officer believes Jones is dealing fentanyl.
Just even the minute amount, like the tip of a pencil, can cause an overdose in that child when it comes to fentanyl.
The report says there was a 15-minute delay between when the child became unconscious and when 911 was called.
Because those effects of that child being unresponsive, could cause severe damage, like this child being in the hospital.
Part of a statement sent by Bell's office says these deaths are entirely preventable, and anyone whose negligence results in the death of an innocent child will be held accountable by this office.
You could pay the price with the death of your child.
Now, police say that the child is hospitalized and could suffer severe brain damage if she survives. They did not say whether the child was related to the suspects. They did say that Jones, who is still on the loose, does have an extensive record of arrests. Live in Clayton, Pepper Baker, 5 on your side.
Tonight, St. Louis County Police are investigating a deadly shooting in North County. It happened this afternoon on Floridale Hills. In Floridale Hills, police say 2 men got into a fight in the area of Glenborough Drive and Gaylord Drive. That's near West Florissant and Jennings Stations Road. 1 man was shot to death. Police arrested the suspect nearby. Breaking news tonight out of the Chicago area. There is a large police presence right now at Six Flags Great America where at least 3 people were shot. It happened about 2 hours ago near the entrance just minutes before the park was closing. Video on social media shows people running to their cars and some parkgoers crouching down while in line for rides. This is a developing story. We'll keep you updated on the 5 on Your Side app. A protest outside the FBI office in St. Louis. The group was rallying against the Fed's search of former President Donald Trump's Florida home. The gathering was peaceful, but tonight the FBI and Department of Homeland Security are reporting a spike in threats against federal law enforcement since Monday's search. At this stage, it's unclear if the Justice Department's investigation into former President Trump might lead to any criminal charges. But already, the few details we do know are drawing dividing lines between candidates running for office in the upcoming midterm elections. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is here with more. Mark?
And the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago Monday set off an instant flash of rage on the right. That initial reaction to the stunning discovery that the most popular Republican politician in the nation might face serious criminal charges eventually would evolve over the week. Elected officials somewhat softened their tune when new information emerged, but you could still hear the early echoes of those complaints in the chants of the chorus from protesters outside that FBI field office earlier today.
In a lot of ways, the former president saw this almost as a positive thing to get people energized. He was fundraising off of it. But as we've seen more information come out, that excitement or energy, at least from folks in office, seems to have tamped down some.
after a week of angry rhetoric from former President Trump.
We are on a higher alert.
U.S. Capitol Police responded to a burning car where a man crashed into a vehicle barricade outside the U.S. Capitol. On Thursday, Attorney General Merrick Garland said threats would not be effective.
Upholding the rule of law means applying the law evenly, without fear or favor.
That heated rhetoric already coming into play on the campaign trail in Missouri, where John Wood is running for the Senate as an independent.
President Trump has created this anger.
A small group of protesters gathered outside an FBI field office in St. Louis Sunday afternoon, where a ringleader described the FBI warrant in Mar-a-Lago as an insult to military veterans.
They didn't fight so that we could have a regime come in and raid the opposition candidate's home based on nothing.
It's just absolutely absurd. It's conspiracy theory at its worst.
In the 6 days since FBI agents executed that search warrant, we've seen the top secret and classified markings on the document, reports that Trump's lawyers may have misled the FBI, and reports video might show people removing boxes from that storage before they could be retrieved. But we still have not seen the contents of those boxes or the affidavit that would spell out probable cause the former president may have committed a crime.
We want to wait and make these opinions based on the evidence.
Before that new information came to light, Missouri's Attorney General Eric Schmitt tweeted this.
Eric Schmitt said that if he's elected, he'll take a wrecking ball to the Justice Department. But that's entirely irresponsible and dangerous. And I don't think there's anything conservative about attacking law enforcement.
The defund the police rhetoric did not seem to be a very winning strategy for the Democrats. And I certainly think that would be the same for the defund the FBI.
Republican and former FBI agent Brian Fitzpatrick urged his Republican colleagues today against a rush to judgment or dangerous rhetoric. He did argue, though, that a step this significant from the Justice Department should also come with a big dose of transparency. He's calling on Merrick Garland to publish that affidavit, which might tell us a lot more about exactly what was in those boxes or how they were handled or moved around while the government was trying to take them back.
Mark, thank you. A new opportunity tonight for victims of the recent historic flooding to get one-on-one assistance from FEMA. The agency is opening a disaster recovery center tomorrow at the Hazelwood Civic Center on Dunn Road. It will be open tomorrow from 2 until 7. The hours will expand to 8 until 7, Tuesday through Friday. The recovery center will then move to a new location, which will be announced later this week. Weeks later, many are still cleaning up from that flood damage. Today, a disaster response team was busy working to help those affected. 5 on Your Side's Elise Schoenig introduces us to a group of veterans with a mission to serve those in their community.
You can't see it from the outside.
Another massive flood cleanup in St. Louis.
We don't come in with a script on the work that we're going to do. We try to personalize it to everybody that we work with.
Is just another day on the job for Sean Riggin. He's the incident commander for Team Rubicon, a nonprofit organization that responds to disasters. The team has been on the ground in St. Louis every day since the historic rainfall and flooding.
We try to sort through item by item with the homeowner to make sure that we're saving everything we possibly can.
On Sunday, the team went to a home with a flooded basement and a leaking ceiling. To put it simply,
he really got it from every direction.
There's a lot of work still to be done on the inside. Here in one of the upstairs rooms, they're taking apart the ceiling quite literally, and part of that is because there was so much damage from the flooding, but also they want to make sure they're preventing any future mold from setting in too.
We try to do demolition up to the point that construction can begin to help save them money.
But to flood victims, volunteers like Philip Reeves are heroes in more ways than one.
There's no difficulty to it. It's difficult to sit around.
Team Rubicon is a veteran-inspired organization, but it takes volunteers with all kinds of service backgrounds. Each person is committed to fighting for the same thing.
The calm after the storm.
And this act of service is something even the rain can't wash away. Reporting in St. Louis.
The purpose of humanity is to help others.
I'm Elise Schoenig.
We have no other use except to support one another.
5 on Your Side.
The homeowner did not want to be part of the story as he recovers from the flooding, but he said he was beyond grateful for the sense of security and stability that Team Rubicon brought him. Customers are coming out to help Left Bank Books in the Central West End. Last month's historic rainfall left 6 inches of water in the lower level. It left behind dirt-covered floors and muddy bookshelves.
It was very unexpected, and We definitely never thought that we would be running away from floodwater and saving books.
Over the last 2 weeks, volunteers showed up unsolicited to clean that lower level. The store has already raised more than $20,000 towards flood recovery. Republicans warn 87,000 new IRS agents will be coming after middle-class Americans. Our Verify team audits their claim. Summer chores, you can't avoid them. Tonight, we're telling you how you can avoid the dangers they pose.
The rain chances really ramp up as we head into Tuesday, where the heaviest rain falls and why those are the areas that need it most.
Tonight, Pennsylvania State Police are trying to figure out if a man intentionally drove through a crowd, killing one person and hurting 17 others. 24-year-old Adrian Oswaldo Shura Reyes was arraigned on 2 counts of criminal homicide. Investigators say he drove through a crowd gathered for a fundraising event last night. He later attacked a woman and killed her. Reyes is being held tonight without bail. Tense moments this morning outside the U.S. Capitol. A man died by suicide after crashing his car into a barricade and firing shots. The fiery collision happened just 300 feet from the U.S. Supreme Court. Investigators don't believe he was targeting any members of Congress. President Biden is expected to sign the Inflation Reduction Act this week, but the bill still faces criticism from conservatives, especially the $80 billion earmarked for the IRS. Tonight, a viral tweet is warning middle-class families the agency is hiring tens of thousands of new agents to audit their taxes. Ariane Till with our Verify team is here with the facts.
Do you make $75,000 or less? Democrats' new army of 87,000 IRS agents will be coming for you. That warning from House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy has people on social media worried that the IRS is hiring more agents to target the middle class. But that's not true. Using these sources, let me walk you through where that 87,000 number came from and what the IRS is actually planning to do. The Senate recently passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which includes $80 billion in funding to the IRS over the next 10 years. According to the bill, which was passed by Congress and is awaiting President Biden's signature, about half of that IRS funding would be put towards expenses for the agency's task enforcement services. And that does include hiring more people, but the bill doesn't specify how many people. And the U.S. Department of the Treasury says claims that new agents will be hired to audit the middle class are false. So where did that 87,000 number come from? Well, we traced it to this May 2021 report from the Treasury Department, which estimated how many full-time employees the IRS could hire over the next decade if they received $80 billion in funding. The Treasury is projecting that 50,000 IRS staff members will retire or leave the agency in the next 5 years. And many of the projected hires would be to fill those vacated roles. And not all of these new hires will be agents tasked with auditing. In a recent letter, IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig assured senators that the IRS would not increase audit scrutiny on small businesses or middle-income Americans. A spokesperson for the Treasury Department confirmed what the commissioner said, adding that new hires will include some new auditors who will focus on corporate and high-end tax evaders, as well as other staffers tasked with improving taxpayer services. So we can verify, no, the IRS is not increasing audits on the middle class, nor are they hiring 87,000 new auditors. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
What can we verify for you? Send us an email to verify@ksdk.com. Actress Anne Hesh was taken off life support tonight. She was declared legally dead Friday from injuries she sustained in a fiery car crash. Hesh was kept on life support to procure her organs for organ donation. Tonight, the agent of Salman Rushdie says the author is on the road to recovery. The 75-year-old was seriously hurt on Friday after a man attacked him during a speaking event, stabbing him in the neck and stomach. We're told he is now off a ventilator and is able to talk. Some good news tonight for drivers in West County. The Big Bend Bridge over I-44 will reopen to traffic tomorrow night. Crews will open one lane in each direction, as well as the lanes to turn left onto the interstate. Work on or around the bridge will continue as crews finish various projects. It's expected to be completely done by November. Summer is officially over at the St. Louis Zoo, at least those summer hours. Starting tomorrow, the zoo will open at 9 a.m. instead of 8 a.m., closes most days at 5 p.m. Fall hours stay in effect through October. Speaking of fall hours, you said a taste of autumn?
Yeah, well, today was almost there. You know, we had a warm start this morning, temperatures in the 70s. What a nice sunset, though. We only managed to get into the mid-80s for highs today, a little below average because of all the clouds we dealt with in the middle of the day, but a pretty nice sunset. 85 was our high. You would have thought this morning starting at 76, we would have done much better than that. And we thought we'd see more sunshine, so we were thinking we'd be close to 90. But the clouds kept us from getting there, and that's okay, right? So we still have a few clouds around tonight across the area, kind of a partly cloudy sky. We look to the north and west, and we find another disturbance dropping out of Iowa. That will spread some more clouds our way, so partly to mostly cloudy overnight. And then look at the thunderstorms coming out of Colorado and Wyoming. That's what we'll be watching as we head for late Monday night into Tuesday, and also some tropical moisture here from a system that just never managed to get its act together across Texas. The upper level pattern, there's your big upper level ridge, and around that you get the disturbances, and that's what we'll be seeing, this unsettled weather working towards us as we head towards tomorrow night. Pretty quiet out there right now. In St. Louis, we're mostly cloudy. We have 75 degrees at Lambert, a north-northwest breeze, dew points 66 degrees. And again, our temperatures, not bad for this time of year. We'll bottom out in the mid to upper 60s tonight. Pleasant conditions, partly to mostly cloudy, still on the dry side. Now tomorrow, like today, sunshine at times is going to be limited. That means again tomorrow, we're only in the low to mid 80s for highs in the afternoon hours. So pretty comfortable day for those of you that have to work outside. Now tomorrow night, the clouds will be lowering and thickening. We might get a few sprinkles as we head into the late evening hours tomorrow night, but it's really after midnight when the chances for showers really start ramping up, and especially into the early morning hours. That's what's coming out of Wyoming right now. That'll be sliding towards us with all this energy to work with as we head into Tuesday morning. Look for the showers to break out, some locally heavier rain off to the west and southwest, especially of St. Louis. That's where we're thinking the downpours are more likely. Nonetheless, most of Tuesday morning is going to be pretty wet around St. Louis, and then we'll press the rain farther south and southwest during the day. And by the time we get to Wednesday, we'll start to clear out and see improving conditions. So the heaviest rain looks like it's going to line up to the west and southwest of St. Louis. Farther north and east, amounts are very light. Significant rain could ease the drought here over the Ozarks as some of that lingers into early Wednesday for areas to our south before it finally pushes away. And that leaves us with very pleasant conditions heading into the end of the week. You know what you do not see? It's the middle of August, and you don't see the dog days of summer showing up on this forecast anywhere. Temperatures are pretty reasonable. We're only in the low 70s for highs on Tuesday. Right now, it looks like we're in pretty good shape for the Indy race coming up this weekend over at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
A nice break in temperatures. It's going to be great. All right, Scott, thank you. Yard work season, it's far from over. The outdoor chores putting you at risk and how to protect yourself. Sprucing up your yard in the summer can be satisfying, but it can also be dangerous. Last year, nearly 262,000 people visited the ER with injuries associated with mowing, cutting branches, or power washing. Consumer Reports has some safety tips to help you dodge danger while working outside. Here's Mike Bush.
Rob Lowenthal is a realtor who enjoys taking care of his own yard, dominated by a 100-year-old maple tree that provides firewood all year long.
It's over 100 years old. This tree drops branches all the time. We use 100% of the wood. Nothing goes to waste.
When your yard needs sprucing up, it's tempting to just go grab some tools and go. But take care when using power equipment.
Lawnmowers accounted for an estimated 70,000 injuries last year. A mower blade rotates thousands of times a minute and can turn a rock or dog toy into a dangerous projectile.
So before you mow, survey the area for rocks and branches. Protect yourself with closed shoes and long pants. When mowing hills, move across the slope rather than up and down. The mower will be easier to control.
Be careful when using a riding mower over uneven terrain. Many people are killed by the mower tipping over onto the driver. So unlike hand mowers, riding mowers should always move up and down slopes, not across, and never allow a child to ride with you.
Last year, there were 137,000 ER visits associated with ladders. So before you climb, check your ladder for loose parts, sharp edges, or bent rungs. Then place it safely.
Set your ladder on level ground with the base 12 inches away from the wall for every 4 feet that the ladder reaches. The ladder should also extend 3 feet past your roof or workspace.
When climbing, always keep both hands on the rails and step up the center of the ladder. Pressure washing is super satisfying, but it can also be dangerous. Stay aware of your surroundings. Wandering children or pets can be seriously injured if they get in the way of the powerful spray. And CR recommends tossing the red Zero spray tip that may come with your washer. It's more dangerous than useful. Mike Bush, 5 on your side.
One more yard work safety tip from Consumer Reports. You should always keep your feet on the ground when working with hedge trimmers. For tall hedges, consider an extension model instead of working from a ladder. Coming up, it's a celebration of one culture in St. Charles today, the reason everyone was invited. All year long, we've been celebrating 75 years on your side, and hundreds of St. Louis viewers joined us Thursday night at the Missouri History Museum for Local News Lasting Impact. The event featured a panel discussion of former and current KSDK personalities like Karen Foss, Jennifer Blome, Art Holliday, and Cindy Pressler. If you missed it, though, don't worry. The program is now streaming on the 5+ app. It's free to download on your Roku or Amazon device. They were celebrating diversity at the Foundry Arts Center in St. Charles today. The second annual St. Charles Jewish Festival showcased Jewish music and food. Organizers say it's a great way to introduce others to Jewish culture and traditions. Around 6,000 Jews call St. Charles County home. That is all of our time for 5 on your side at 10. We hope you start your day with Today in St. Louis. That gets started at 4. And now here's Hannah Yates with Sports Plus.